Hey guys, what's happening? This is Josh Cantwell, and welcome back to our 4-part video training series where we're using this property at 1171 Gardner Road as our case study. In video 1, we did our very initial walkthrough, and that was right when we were about to buy this property. The second video was to teach you our 6-step rehab process. Our third video was the one right before our property launch and our open house that we did our final walkthrough to make sure the property was ready for the open house / property launch. And we quickly sold the property just a few weeks later to a retail buyer getting a FHA loan, and we are just about to close. So what I want to do in this video is walk you through the numbers, the final numbers on Gardner Road, and that's what you see on your screen here. So let me tell you a little bit about the details. So 1171 Gardner Boulevard was an REO that was in the multiple listing service. And you can see the picture up here on the right of the screen that shows, this is right from, I think, Realtor.com is where I got this photo. And it shows that it was sold on February 20th, 2013 for $56,904. It was a 4-bed, 2-bath, about 1,639 square feet on 0.77 acres, built in 1951. And that picture right there is a pretty ugly picture of the front of the house. What I want to do is kind of show you some of the documents that went into closing this. So you can see this is the actual HUD-1 that you see on your screen right now. This is the actual settlement statement, and you can see the disbursement date is 2/28/13. The buyer is Property Renovation Group, that's us. The seller is Bank of New York Mellon, which is a trustee for some asset-backed security certificate, which is the actual owner of the mortgage. They foreclosed on the property, and Bank of New York Mellon was the trustee for the asset-backed certificate or the mortgage-backed security who was selling this property. You can see it was a cash closing. We bought it with cash, section F, and you can see the property location. This is the purchase agreement. The purchase price was $56,904. That's what we paid for the property. We put $5,000 down in earnest money. We didn't have to put $5,000 down, but we really wanted the property, and there was multiple bidders on the property, lots of competition, and we wanted the bank to know that we were serious. So we put down $5,000 of earnest money. So you can see the total cash to close in line 303 is $51,011.92. You obviously have to add back in the other $5,000 that we put down. In addition, we also got a $1,700 commission when we bought the property, payable to Rob Russell. That's my agent that works for my brokerage. So we made another $1,700 when we bought the property through the real estate agent commission. Okay, so that's the final HUD-1. That's the real final HUD-1. So you guys, and the reason why I want to show you this is if you haven't done a ton of real estate deals, I want you to get familiar with what the closing looks like. So we paid $56,904. So that's the purchase price you can see here on your screen. And the cash to close was $56,011.92. Now, what that means, the difference is that we have closing costs that we had to pay on top of the $56,904, but then we got a real estate property tax concession, a credit back to us. So the total cash to close was $56,1192. The improvement budget that we scheduled was $26,000. That meant that our total investment was $82,011.92. We were able to secure private money for the property for $87,000. So we were able to put over $4,000 cash in our pocket up front. Now, the important part of this was, how did we determine that Gardner Boulevard was a good deal? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to move to the next slide. So this is our automated offer formula. When I look at wholesaling properties that have equity or doing a short sale flip and rehabbing it, whether I'm the rehabber or whether I'm the wholesaler, I use the same exact formula. Because if I'm wholesaling the property to an investor, they are going to be using practically the same formula that I'm using to determine what they're willing to pay. Okay, so this is very important whether you decide to keep these properties for rehab or whether you decide to assign them or do a double closing and sell them to another investor. So again, this was an REO from the multiple listing service. So the after repaired value of the home we determined was $144,900, and I'm going to show you how we determined that in a minute. We'd always factor in the sell price of what we're going to sell it for is 90% of list price. So our list is $144,900, and approximately 90% of the list price is $130,000. Okay, that's what we're going to sell it for. I then take 90% of the sell price to get the net proceeds. And the net proceeds means that after closing costs, realtor commissions, seller concessions, and bringing the property taxes current, I'm going to have approximately 10% of my sell price is going to be closing costs. So the net proceeds is going to be $117,000. Okay? So 10% of $130,000 is $13,000. So that I take $13,000 off of $130,000, and that leaves me $117,000. I then subtract the profit target that I'm shooting for, which is $40,000. I then subtract the repairs. In this case, was $26,000 to $28,000 roughly. So I'm looking at in this about $28,000 in repairs. On the other slide, I had $26,000. It was right in there. We weren't exactly sure because we weren't really sure if the electrical and the plumbing needed work. You really don't know that until you buy the property and you open up the walls when you find out about the electrical and the plumbing. Okay, so we adjusted $28,000 for repairs. So that put our maximum offer price at $49,000. Okay, so we take the after repaired value times 90% to get our sale price, times 90% to get our net proceeds, subtract our $40,000 profit target, subtract the repairs, and that gives us our maximum offer price. Okay, we then take approximately 25% off of the maximum offer price to determine our initial offer price. Okay, so this is very formulaic. It's just step by step by step by step, and it helps you so you don't make any mistakes. Okay, and again, we did this deal with none of our own cash and none of our own credit, and we didn't do any of the work ourselves. We outsourced all the work to professional contractors. Okay, so that's how we went into this deal, and we made the initial offer of approximately $37,000. We got into a multiple bidding scenario, and our maximum offer that we really wanted to pay was $49,000. Well, we really thought, well, look, here's a couple of sort of points where we can pay more, okay, or we could do more. Meaning, if we're able to sell the property for more than 90% of list price, we could pay a little bit more, okay. If we can cut down on our repairs a little bit, we can pay more. And if we're willing to take a little bit less than $40,000 profit, we can pay a little bit more. Okay? So those are all the factors that went into this, because we ended up paying more than the $49,000, which was our max offer. So what we decided to do is we went up and we ended up going to $56,904 was our maximum offer price. Okay? And so here's actually the way the deal went down. We did project our sale price to be $144,900. The property went on the market on 7/1/13. Okay. The gross profit potential that we had built into the deal was $62,900. Our goal is to make $40,000. We actually sold the property for $132,000. So remember, our projected sale price was $130,000. Our actual sale price was $132,000. We sold it on 8/16, so it was on the market for 46 days. Okay, before we were able to finally get our buyer, our final buyer. We had another buyer that made an offer that we accepted. That buyer fell through. Their financing fell through, so we had to put the property back on the market and secure our second buyer. Our net proceeds after closing costs is going to be $119,200. So our adjusted profit is the $119,200 minus the $82,011.92, which is what we're into this property for. Okay, so our adjusted profit is $37,000. We're paying our private lender 12% interest on their money. So the private lender is going to make $5,800, and the net profit after all expenses is $31,378.08. And again, that's without using any of our own cash, without any of our own credit, and without doing any of the repairs ourselves. We just consulted with and worked with the contractors who did all the work on the property. Okay? So this is a fantastic deal. I mean, making $31,000 profit and doing this in our spare time. I've only been to this property a total of probably 6 times ever. My brother worked with the contractors, and he was out at the property probably 2 or 3 times a week for several weeks while the property was being renovated. But it wasn't even a full-time, not even close to full-time for him. He was probably at the property 12 or 15 times total to get the property ready. Okay. So let me give you an idea, a couple other things I want to show you. So this is the actual addendum. We were originally supposed to buy this property on December 26th. That was the actual purchase and sales agreement was dated for December 26th. And we were supposed to close on January 30th. Well, the lender, and you'll see this a lot when you buy REOs, the lender did not have the deed filed. So the lender, or the seller, which was, in this case, it says Bank of America, but it was actually Bank of New York Mellon. Okay, when you look at the actual the actual HUD-1, it was Bank of New York Mellon. So they didn't, they don't even get this right. The buyer is us, Property Renovation Group. The seller was actually Bank of New York Mellon. It wasn't Bank of America. Okay, they screw this kind of stuff up all the time. So the contract close date was extended to 2/15 because, again, it says due to deed issues. Okay, so not our fault, it was their fault. Okay, and they say that, for this delay, the buyer and seller agree to close as soon as the deed is available for transfer. Okay, and you can see that that was signed down there. Okay, so very typical. We probably see 20 to 25% of the time that we're buying REOs that the seller, the bank, doesn't even have the deed issued yet into their name. So oftentimes closing will get postponed. It happens all the time. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is the mortgage. Okay, so here's one of the mortgages. Again, this is 1171 Gardner, and we got a mortgage for $83,000. We got $4,000 of additional private money as well. So a total of $87,000, and we were able to put $4,000 into our pocket up front. Now that $4,000 into our pocket up front is basically getting some of our profits paid in advance. Okay, so again, if you go back to the numbers here, if you take our net proceeds, which is $119,200, minus what we're into the property for, which is $82,000. Okay, we ended up getting $87,000. So we were able to put that extra $4 to $5 grand in our pocket up front. So our net profit is $31,378.08, and we've already received $4,000 to $5,000 of it. Okay, we've already got it in our pocket, which is nice because we get some money up front. Okay, we actually typically make as much money up front as the wholesalers do who wholesale us properties, or that I would make if I was wholesaling the property to somebody else. Okay, so there's the note, $83,000. Okay, then the last piece is the market analysis. Okay, so what did we think we were going to sell it for, and how did we determine price per foot and what we were going to sell it for. So this is some of our comps that we used. For example, here's another one on Gardner Boulevard. Okay, 1237 Gardner. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,439 square feet. Ours was a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,639 square feet. So more square footage, an extra bedroom on the same street that was already pending for 129. Okay? And keep in mind, this property was on the market for a year, 354 days. Okay? Here are 2 more properties on Gardner that were closed, 1025 and 1140 Gardner. This is the 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,704 square feet. So this is very, very, very close as a comp to our property. Okay, this was listed at 129 and sold at 125. Okay, and see this? This shows the sale price to list price. So it sold for 96.92% of list price. Okay, this other property on Gardner is a little bit bigger. Okay, it was 2,222 square feet, 4-bed, 2.5 bath. Okay, and it sold for 138. Ours sold for 132 because ours was in perfect condition. It was brand new everything. Okay, electrical, plumbing, carpet, paint, kitchens, bathrooms, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the CMA. That's how we determined we were going to list it for 144.9, and then I was very comfortable knowing that we would sell it for at least 90% of list price. Okay, at least 90. If you see these other ones sold for 98% of list price. Okay, and I'm only expecting to sell mine for 90% of list price. So that's why we went up over and above our max offer, is because we knew these other properties were selling for 98% of list price. Okay, so we were comfortable paying a little bit more to secure this deal. Okay, so to show you again exactly where we were at, again, we sold it for 132. We were projecting to sell it for 130. Okay, we were projecting to net 117. We're actually going to net 119.2. Okay, our total profit that we're looking to shoot for is 40. Our actual profit was 37. We share some of that with our private lender, and we get to keep 31,000 plus we got paid at the real estate brokerage that I own, got some of the buyer agency commission, and we're going to get some of the listing agent commission. So total cash into our pocket from this deal is going to be somewhere around $33,000 to $34,000 when you add everything up together. Okay. So let me show you a couple more things about this property. I want to just take you online and show you. So this is the property. Okay. When we bought it, you can see this is sold. This is on a Coldwell Banker website that shows 1171 Gardner sold for $56,904. And there's just, there's a couple pictures here of the outside, some pictures of the inside. Okay, there's the fireplace. That's the back door. I want you to notice right here, you see in the middle, see this bookshelf? Okay, we end up actually tearing that bookshelf out. Here's the back sunroom. Here's one of the bedrooms. Here's the master bath. Okay, here's again the master bath. Okay, now if you look at the pictures of the after repaired, here's the kitchen. Let me blow this up for you a little bit so you can see it. Look at how nice that kitchen is. And it looks into the sunroom. See, through the window there is the sunroom. Okay, that's the fireplace. Okay, keep in mind this is what the fireplace looked like before. Okay, there's the fireplace before. Here's the fireplace after. Okay. Let's see. There's the fireplace again, the after. This, okay, let's check this out. Here is, again, that cabinet that we tore out. Okay, right here, see the double doors and the cabinet? Check this out. Here's the double doors here and the doorway going into the garage. Okay, pretty cool, huh? So we tore that out. And here's the sunroom, the before photos of the sunroom. Okay, here's the after. Look how nice and beautiful that is. Okay, it's fantastic. Here's one of the upstairs bedrooms. Okay, but really, really fantastic. Fantastic. That's the front, the before, and here's the front after. Okay, notice how he painted. Okay, little landscaping. It's two-toned. Notice how it's dark around the bottom, light gray on the top. Okay, painted the siding, painted the brick. Notice up here, see the brick is tan. Okay, we painted that dark gray. Okay, so guys, that's Gardner Road, and that's how a deal comes together. So you saw my comps that I used to buy it. You saw my formula that I used to purchase it. You saw all the details that went into the numbers of how it all comes together. You saw the sale price of $132, our sold date of 8/16/13, our net proceeds, our gross profit, and our net profit after all expenses. And we're able to do this without any of our own cash, any of our own credit, and without doing any of the work. So what I'd like to know from you guys is what is holding you back from doing deals like these? So if you could leave a comment right beneath this video and let me know what's holding you back from doing huge monster real estate profits like 1171 Gardner Road. Okay? So go ahead and leave us a comment below the video, and we'll talk with you soon. Take care.